The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to the Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm Brad Jackson.
And we are back again. Brad's been living the life of the road warrior. So how was that? You see anything interesting on your journeys?
I learned that I really like San Diego. It's like Florida, but with mountains. The weather's always nice. The food is always delicious. The people are super chill. The only thing is, you're pretty much limited to two car options. Either you drive a Prius or you drive a Tesla. There's no in between.
Which did you get? Did you get the Prius or did you get the Tesla?
What do you think I got?
Prius?
Nah, I got some 4x4 jacked up, off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
I was making sure to consume that California diesel.
I'm going to pollute y'all's environment as much as I can while I'm here. It's not so much to go into California. It's like, going to California for a week. Coming home Sunday. Nope. Going to Utah. Nope. Going to this other state. Nope. I'm going to this other state. I'll be home eventually.
I didn't get captured by Mormons in Utah, so that was a victory. And, it's kind of weird. Like, the highs were in the 30s, but for some reason, I was like, I'm going to walk around in a t-shirt. I don't know if maybe it's a lack of humidity or something, but some reason the air just felt different. Or maybe I was just like
a higher elevation, thinner air or whatever. Yeah,
maybe. Or, it could be that, hey, there's hot springs and, all kinds of cool shit here. So, not going to be able to enjoy any of that in blue jeans and, hoodies and whatnot.
Well, I'm glad you made it back. So, what are we smoking this week, Brad?
This week we have the Punch Fu Manchu.
Yeah, we having another introduction into the Punch Chinese New Year series. This one celebrating the Year of the Tiger. And they do these Punch Chinese New Year cigars have always got something a little weird to them. And since this one's based on Fu Manchu, if anyone's seen the old kung fu movies where there's some master with this like single string goatee that hangs all the way down, it's like this one has an extended pigtail that just goes halfway down the cigar.
It has a tampon string. Let's call it what it is.
But it is a 6x50 box press Toro using Honduran Habano wrapper, Indonesian binders and fillers from the Dominican Republic, Nicaraguan, and Mexico. So Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, and Mexico fillers, and a nice Honduran Habano wrapper over Indonesian binder.
And I figured it out, dude. This cigar is designed for the Clinton because it comes with its own
if you
pull
lose
string.
it, you got a string to get it back. Or it's a fuse. You just light it like a stick of dynamite.
I mean, that would work if it was, at the foot of the cigar. I could understand maybe. I'm be like, that's kind of cool. But it's at the wrong end. And I don't know about you, but I mean, you might have tried to smoke the wrong end of your cigar once.
Only drunk.
I
Never a cigar. I've done that with a cigarette where I've put the wrong end in my mouth and lit the filter. Back when I was a drunk kid, because I never really smoked cigarettes, but get drunk enough to be like, hey man, give me a cigarette. I'm gonna do that. And then you're like, man, this tastes like shit. You lit the filter. Also,
it doesn't taste any better lighting the other end, I can assure you.
Also, it's kind of interesting because not only it has that weird string, it's got two different. There's a lighter colored tobacco around the tip. So the upper part of this, above the band is a lighter color than the
so
Habano,
toward the foot you get that natural, light tan, and then toward the end it's like, oh yeah, that wrapper's been aged in something.
And don't forget that all these Chinese New Year wrappers are basically like fortune cookies. So you take your band off, there'll be some kind of fortune written underneath. So we start getting toward the you already ditched yours. So what's yours say? I'll hold mine until we get toward the end of the cigar.
The fortune could be better. Yeah, that's my luck.
smoked at one of these previously, and it said, "I see money in your future, but not yours." I'm like, fuck.
Yes. I gotta say, like, I mean, just kind of off the bat, I mean, this is a very earthy... You said this was mostly Honduran, right?
The rapper is Honduran, Habano, and then the filler is Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Mexican.
Earthy with a touch of leather, and...
According to the
maybe...
company description, it says rich, toasty, and a nutty profile.
I don't get the nutty.
Building to a natural sweetness.
I've been eating a lot of trail mix. I've been on the trails. Got to eat trail mix when on the trail.
You've ruined your palate for a nut.
I think. That or I've just been around way too many guys for way too long.
Well, so speaking of kung fu, we're watching talking about an interesting series this week. We're going to be talking about probably the best thing to come out of the new Suicide Squad movie, Peacemaker, the series, written and directed by James Gunn, who, Guardians of the Galaxy, a bunch of other movies.
Was I supposed to know that this came from Suicide Squad?
Well, if you watch the new Suicide Squad...
Obviously, I didn't.
Oh, well then, yes. He is a character in the new Suicide Squad movie, and he gets shot and a building dropped on him at the end. But post-credits of that movie, spoilers, anyone hadn't seen it, turns out he survived and he's in the hospital. And this show picks up where that left off, that he survived his duty in the Suicide Squad, and now they've got him for a solo kind of Black Ops mission.
Is Eagly in Suicide Squad?
No.
Then it's not worth me watching.
But you should see Suicide Squad, because
I should not. It has no fucking Eagly. It's against freedom.
But it's got Idris Elba and Harley Quinn. If you saw the first Suicide Squad movie, the second Suicide Squad movie is way better than the first Suicide Squad movie. And literally, they kill off almost every character from the first movie except for Harley Quinn, and it's a whole new team. One of which is Peacemaker.
I'll give it a try.
Hey, I haven't seen that yet. You should do it. And if you're going to have to take on an alien invasion, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use your promo code Cigar Nerds for 20% off your order. Comes in little tiny tin pouches, so if you are a tiny little alien bug, it'll be easy for you to carry around because it's not very big.
You're the cow.
The cow. Yeah, we'll get into that here in a minute. But with that, we'll be right back. And welcome back. We're about to talk some Peacemaker. Also, if you're listening to the audio version of this show,
pieces.
If you're just listening to the audio of this show, go check us out on YouTube, Cigar Nerds Podcast on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, go check out the audio show at cigarnerdpodcast.com.
Shameless plug.
Exactly. We get that out of the...
Smash that like button.
That way if people turn this off, 10 minutes in, they at least get the plug in before they turn it off.
Do realize I've already killed any chance we had a monetization for this episode.
Tampon string?
Well, not only that, but probably use the F word like 7 times already.
Yeah, it's okay. We're not monetized yet.
Fucking right.
We'll probably never get there because you gotta have I looked it up when I first started it. You gotta have 1,000 subscribers before you can monetize. I think we're at like 6. So
1,000, 100 million. We could just retire and make YouTube videos.
And only 3 of those 6 are my fake accounts that I opened up just to get more subscribers.
I mean, the Russians are desperate. I mean, we can get us some Russian bots.
Need you start TikToking and direct people over here.
I don't think that will ever happen.
Yeah, my
I think I'm wired in such a way that I can't do it.
I can't do it. The worst part, I go in my house and my kid and my wife are both watching freaking TikToks in the same room, but different TikToks. So there's like dueling TikTok background noise. And I'm like, I've got to get out of here. This makes me want to start my shotgun. Like, I'm going back to my shed to listen to heavy metal and smoke cigars. Speaking of metal, this show had probably the best. I mean, all of James Gunn's movies from like Guardians of the Galaxy on has all had like great soundtracks. But if you're a fan of like hair metal or like punk, like this was a good soundtrack. And it wasn't just like, I mean, there is like one Motley Crue song, but it was a lot of like songs I weren't familiar with, like not like your A-list.
It wasn't
hair metal.
just your one-hit wonders.
Yeah, it was. There were some B cuts on this show that like, oh man, I got to look that up. That song sounds pretty good. I mean,
for this show, really, that was the only genre you could go with.
Yeah, because like I said, you didn't see Suicide Squad, but
you already spoiled it for me.
But once you get into like the Peacemaker series, it's like, yeah, this dude, like, you get to learn a lot more about his personality here, and the dude's kind of stunted in the in the 80s.
Stunting like my daddy.
Like I said, he is just a kind of a weird teenager in a giant wrestler man's body.
But it's kind of cool, because this absolutely is giving me some Captain Hammer type vibes.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Peacemaker, he's a DC villain, technically. I mean, member of Suicide Squad, because he's like, I'd love peace, and I'll kill every man, woman, and child I have to get peace.
I mean, that's a true philosophy, though, because, I mean, I think it was Mudvayne. When the whole damn world's dead, there's your fucking peace.
And most shows nowadays do not have an intro anymore. Like, back in the day, like, A-Team, Magnum P.I., all of them had these, like, great opening sequences, and now most shows, it's like, title card directly into the action, maybe a cold start with
title card
with a title card and
another title card.
Very short intros where this starts with a cold opening every episode, but then you get this epic dance number opening to the song "Do You Want to Taste It" by Wigwam, which was a song I had never heard of before this, but it's one of those intros that I'm like, Netflix is like, do you want to skip the intro? I'm like, no. Like, every time I'm like, I'm having to watch, or not Netflix, fucking HBO Max. I'm like, nope, I'm not skipping this.
And it's funny because I'd be, laying in bed watching it with Rachel, and, she's over there, mimicking the dance. I'm like, you don't even get into stuff like this. So it was kind of cool that she actually got into something like this.
Oh, yeah, because it's just freaking hilarious. I mean, like I said, if you've watched the first Suicide Squad, the second one was way better, and this show just goes off the rails. It gets more ridiculous than the freaking Suicide Squad movie.
I can't draw that comparison. I will say that the series had a really good build-up, and, I mean, so I was caught like the first 4 episodes. And then I think I caught up to where I had to wait, and I did not like the wait.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint on HBO and Disney Plus is they make you fucking wait week to week. Because like I said, I started watching this right when it came out, and they dropped like the first, I think it was the first 2 or 3 episodes like right off the bat. So I was like, all right, cool. And then yeah, that going week to week to watch this, it's like, fuck. It's like, I hate the shit. Like, give me a Netflix where I can just burn through that shit in one sitting. Which the Reacher series I watch on Amazon, like, because Amazon usually does that too, where it's a week to week, but they dropped that whole Reacher series at once, and I was like, yeah, I can like.
I think they just pick and choose. They're like, oh, it's Star Wars. We know millions of billions of people are going to want to watch it week to week. Keep them locked in as long as we can.
And it's so weird hearing people talk about, oh yeah, man, it's like it's like watching. It's like back in the day having to like wait a week to like catch up. Like, motherfucker, this is like, remember Netflix when it came out? That was the biggest sell. Like, dude, we can watch an entire series in like a couple days. Like, everyone's, oh yeah, it's like so nostalgic. We can, we gotta wait like a week to see the rest of it. And like, no, I have short attention span. That in a busy ass life, I'm like, I want to be able to like burn through this in about 3 days.
Whoa! You have a life?
Not really, but it's.
How did you get that? I want one of those.
I ordered it off of Amazon with the Prime shipping. It's 2-day delivery.
They'd probably go to the wrong house.
Yeah, it would. That's the next like sci-fi series. It's like, get a life. Call this number. We'll send you a life. Just program what you
yeah,
want.
It'll probably
it's the metaverse. I'm living in virtual reality
dude,
now.
You already got like the Oculus and everything else. So I mean, they'll just write you a short, sweet little program on how you want, and you'll spend your credits in your life in the virtual reality world.
Yeah, pretty much. You just like slowly dying because you're not going outside. You're just staying in your virtual world all day. Oh man, like the world is slowly turning into Ready Player One. Between the metaverse and the economy going to shit, it's like, yeah, we're about to be living in like high-rise trailers and living our life online because the real world sucks.
I'm not doing it.
So yes, Peacemaker. It kicks off with him. Like I said, if you saw the post credits of the movie, he was in the hospital because he got
what movie?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad.
That thing I didn't watch.
Yeah. So he got a building dropped on him, and then he went. Yeah, but like him, just like and you see John Cena's like ass in like the first 5 minutes of this series. Like, oh yeah, this is HBO Max. We don't have to, doesn't have to be family friendly.
Well, at the same time, I think there was a study that butts are less offensive than boobs, so that's why most of the time you see more butts than you do boob. Think about it.
That's weird. I mean, because
there have legit been censorship studies, and that's part of like the MPAA and everything else, is literally based on that group's feeling and emotions at that given moment. So, I mean, like that's why so many artists and, directors and that sort of are musicians, have such a problem with the rating industry is because, I mean, you could just piss off and the next thing you know, your shit be completely clean, but they find something offensive, and oh, well, nope, now we've slapped a parental advisory sticker or,
But the whole, like, butts not being that offensive thing kind of makes sense because as, like, dudes, it's like, we're constantly mooning each other, like, as kids, but we never, like, pull our dicks out and flash them at people.
Well, I mean, at the same time...
It's way more common to see a butt growing up than it is, like, any other
At the same time, like, I think... All right, so I guess we're going to go down this Hobbit trail. So here we go.
Welcome to the show where we say we're going to talk about a movie and then we just tangent the fuck out of it.
Well, how many people sag their jeans? You're so desensitized to, seeing an ass. But you see a woman breastfeeding, and all of a sudden that's obscene or offensive. Like, we are literally the only culture that sexualizes the breast. Like, because most other cultures, it's just, kids got to eat, or whatever. Or it's not even the breast, it's the nipple. Because you can literally show the whole breast, but we got to blur out the...
Oh yeah, how many times have we, like, at Dragon Con seen just, like, freaking electrical tape over a nipple, and that's considered, like,
decent.
Covered. Yeah. It's like, damn, I wish I could see that nipple. Yeah. Fucking people are weird, man.
Is that a Tic Tac under your electrical tape, or are you just happy to see me?
That's gonna be fun pulling off later.
Dude, that's electrical tape. That shit ain't sticking to anything. And it's probably not even real. Oh, I mean, maybe some of it's real electrical tape. You know, they make the pasties that are, you know, look like electrical tape.
Now you know.
There you
And
go.
knowing is half the battle. The other half is extreme violence. It's one of my favorite little G.I. Joe memes I keep seeing floating around the internet lately. It's like, knowing is half the battle. The other half is extreme violence.
All right. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I've educated you on the rating system.
Titties. So, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So, yeah, it starts with him getting released from the hospital. And it's like, because, you know, the deal with the Suicide Squad is, like, you know,
And at the same time, if he's in a hospital gown, dude, you ever been in a hospital gown?
Not recently, but yeah, that's like, those things
Legit,
never...
you will never keep your ass flap covered.
No.
Like, it's designed, like... I don't know who designed it. Seems like poor thought out design, but I'm always Donald Ducking it.
Now just put it on backward, so it's just like, yeah. Dugan hanging out.
Wow, you got one of them hoop. Nope, not a hoop. It's my dong.
Helicopter. But yes, we have...
You lost your one subscriber, by the way. I just watched him unsubscribe.
That's probably me. I'm like, I can't watch this shit anymore.
I hate myself.
Oh. So yeah, Christopher Smith, a.k.a. Peacemaker, played by John Cena.
Not to be confused with
Cena.
Christopher Robin. Cena. You can't see me. Because I do this.
Because he has a chrome helmet.
I mean, he's got multiple helmets, apparently.
That's what I liked about this series is the fleshing out of the character. Like, you know, he starts off a very, like, two-dimensional kind of a douchebag. And then, like, you get 8 episodes of, like, great character development for this one, like, just weirdo character.
No, dude, you just got desensitized to the douchebaggery.
I mean, it was still a douchebag, but he was a likable douchebag by then. You see how he kind of came to be the way he was, and how he's kind of, his growth is stunted. Like when he first goes home to his trailer that's all red, white, and blue, like literally like the
Dude, if you lived with an
absolute,
eagle and you didn't have a trailer that was red, white, and blue, I'd call you ISIS.
But for someone who's like a villain technically and wanted, like all his shit's like red, white, and blue, and like, you know, super bright and colorful. It's like, I ain't hiding shit. I'm living in a trailer park with my eagle. No one knows it's me.
I mean,
But there's like, you know, all
dude, I've been to trailer parks where if your shit wasn't decorated that way, you'd be sticking out. Like, the feds
boy,
gonna come.
You a come in.
Feds come knocking. Like, you're not from around here, are you? Ah, hell. They're on to me.
Oh, but what the hell is his name?
I don't know. What are you trying to say right now?
His
Joe?
father, you know, from Terminator 2.
Oh, that guy.
But yeah, they go to see his, as soon as he gets out of prison, his like first stop is to go by and see his dad, played by something Pat. What the fuck is his name? It's like literally not on this sheet. But yeah, his father, Augie Smith, is basically a racist supervillain. As you find out later on, he is the White Dragon.
Robert Patrick?
Yes, Robert Patrick.
There you are. Got you, buddy.
But he is hilarious as his dad. He is such a douchebag character. Like I said, he's this, you know, And everyone accuses Peacemaker of being racist. Like the guy at the hospital's like, dude, you're that racist superhero. I'm not racist. He's like, you kill a lot of black people. No, I kill criminals. It's not my fault that, most of them are, not white. And he's like, you just need to pay more attention to the white people as you do everyone else. He's like, fine, I promise I'll kill more white people. He's like, all right, that's all I'm gonna ask, man. Just like, pay more attention. Kill the white criminals too. But yeah, his dad's like this fucking racist, and the flashbacks to him as a kid, like I'm assuming it's based on his age, supposed to be set in the 70s, and never really, but it's like Robert Patrick with like the super mullet and all the fucking skinhead dudes.
Hey, that sort of, I was like, it's almost like he could almost pull off the old man from American History X.
Yes, absolutely. And even like when the cops show up later on, and he just keeps like making these like horrible like jokes about the detective that's Asian, like he's like, I don't like chop suey or whatever. And she just starts like calling him like, she calls her like Lucy Lou, so then she just starts calling him random white guys. It's like the back and forth between those two are great.
She definitely needed a little help though.
Yeah, she wasn't very good on her insults, but and then when they go into his like interdimensional Doctor Who closet where he keeps all his, it turns out he's not only a racist Iron Man pretty much from the looks of his suit, he's some kind of mechanical genius for a hillbilly, and builds all of Peacemaker's helmets and suits and shit, even though he like hates him.
I did think that was kind of cool, like them, showing the different helmets and, the different abilities that came with each helmet. And maybe Suicide Squad went into that, but
like they never like in the Suicide Squad movie, they never like his helmet doesn't have any powers in the movie. It's pretty much just a helmet. But then he's like, well, this one gives you X-ray vision. This one anti-gravity. This one gives you scabies. He's like, why would you make a helmet that gives people scabies? Like, man, sometimes you got to challenge yourself. Everyone should get scabies at least once in their lives.
I used to think it'd be really cool to have X-ray vision, of course, for all the wrong reasons. Then I realized, if you have X-ray vision, you're literally seeing through everything. Like, it isn't like, hey, I'm going to see through this point, and magically, hey, I got a clear image of something.
Yeah, it's like you never see, like if Superman can like dial it in.
It's going to be like, Doom, when you turn on no clipping mode, and it's like, yep, I'm in the walls and have no fucking clue where I am now.
Yeah, X-ray vision is one of those like, yeah, unless you can control like
sounds cool in theory, but in real application, like I don't.
Yeah, it kind of depends if you can control the depth of vision. Like if I want to look at this laptop and I'm like, all right, I need to see what's going on with the circuit board. But like if you don't have any kind of control, it's like, nope, I'm just seeing like the ground. I'm like seeing all the way through everything. So yeah, it's like one of those. It's like kind of like that. Like, alrighty then.
What does that mean?
That's me not putting my phone on silent before the started recording. But yeah, it's like that.
Is that copyright? What was that? What was that?
That was default Samsung ringtone number 3.
Oh boy, yeah, that's definitely copyright.
Yeah, we're gonna get our first YouTube copyright strike. But yeah, all right, it's coming off. I got my dude. Remember with like that the fortune cookie I told you before? I got the same one. I see money in your future. It is not yours.
Woohoo!
So yeah.
Do I see money? I see money.
But it's like that old game where it's like, all right, you get a superpower, but then someone else gives you like an offset of that superpower to make it bad. Yeah, that's X-ray. I got X-ray vision. Yeah, but you have no control on how far your X-ray goes. You're just walking around seeing skeletons all day.
But does it even stop at skeletons?
Well, I mean, if he was like super, like you wouldn't see anything because like you'd just be like you said in a like clipping when you accidentally walk out of the level and you're just like in the void.
Like,
That would be
I'm
kinda
wondering if they
useless.
could fry your brain somehow and be like, I got. That might be a form of like mental anguish.
Or what is like, you know, because X-rays give off like they shoot radiation through your body to make a X-ray. What if like Superman or whatever using his X-ray vision is actually shooting out X-rays and he's just giving everybody cancer? So why does everyone keep dying around me, like of getting tumors and shit? I'm like, dude, it's your fucking X-ray
Like,
vision.
why do they make you remove all the metal then?
That's the whatever the not the
Yeah,
CT,
but I mean, even time,
MRI. That's when you gotta remove all the metal.
like it's always like you got metal. Yeah, I got metal.
You get one of those machines that has like the really strong magnetic field, and you got like nipple ring, just fucking rip your nipple ring out. That would suck. Somebody with a Prince Albert jumping that thing. Yeah, think about that one.
Jacob's ladder.
Ooh.
That's a lot of metal.
If you don't know what that is at home, Google it. Be sure to Google it, image search. Just see what pops up.
Jingle all the way.
So yes, Peacemaker gets brought in by a team of kind of odd Black Ops characters to run a non-Suicide Squad mission because apparently there's an alien invasion, aka the butterflies. But of course they don't tell anyone what butterflies are until like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, something like that. It's definitely later in the season when you start getting a glimpse of butterflies.
I like the joke because like the mission they were on in the Suicide Squad movie was Project Starfish, and the enemy turned out to be like Starro the Conqueror, which is a giant kaiju-sized starfish. And he's like, so like, what kind of am I going to fight a Mothra? He's like, no, you're not. Dude, if I want to fight a Mothra, I want a jetpack. He's like, you're not fighting a Mothra. He's like, no, I know you guys are horrible at project names, so Project Butterfly has got to be like a fucking Mothra. Because, the last time you sent me after something, it was Project Starfish, and it was a giant fucking starfish. He's like, it's not butterflies. And then he's like, oh yeah, pretty much. It's like praying mantis butterflies. It's like...
No, on a small scale, but on the much grander scale, it's the cow.
Oh,
it's all about the cow.
But these things are like, they're parasites pretty much. They crawl up your orifices, which, in the PowerPoint presentation, they show them like flying up your butthole or your nose. It's like butthole's an orifice. It can, it can fly up there too. But then they,
my sphincter's very weak.
Take over your body, and they have a secret agenda to rule the world for our own good, apparently. Because they're like, yeah, I always like a villain that don't think they're a villain, and they're like, when the final like kind of reveal of what their actual motivation is, they're like, we came from a planet that the environment got destroyed, and we're seeing the same thing happening to your planet, and we don't want that to happen again, so we're gonna take over your planet to make sure y'all don't fuck it up anymore. Y'all can't be trusted to run this place anymore. So we're gonna take over a whole bunch of celebrities and politicians so we can, make y'all be
and
green.
It's kind of weird too. Like, they still retain, the human thoughts and emotions and everything else. Like, that's got to be crazy. Be like, I'm in this body and, oh God, it's terrible.
Yeah, because they retain the host's memories and whatnot, which the team that he is with is Latoya Adebayo, which is Amanda Waller, the head of Argus's daughter, played by Danielle Brooks, and Clemson Mern, played by Chukwudi Iwuji, and Imola Harcourt, who's like the only like, she's like a legit like kind of spy type person, played by Jennifer Holland, and John Economos, aka Diebeard, played by the comedian Steve Agee. And I I love his character in this, where it's like, fucking, Peacemaker's busting his balls the whole time about dyeing his beard, and like think he's just like the fucking computer nerd, and like hates him. And then he's like, they finally like agree on metal. They're like, he's like, fucking, what the hell was the band? The 12th Street Kids was the song. Was it Hanoi Rocks?
Yeah, I think.
That was the band they bonded over, and then it's like, okay, you're pretty cool, man. But when he finds out, like, back it up to like the kind of the introduction of kind of butterflies, they tell Peacemaker their first mission is to kill this U.S. senator who's really an alien, and he takes home some rocker chick from the bar, and she accidentally sees his mission package, and turns out she's an alien. So it's like freaking, bang her out, and then he's like, oh, here's some cool like freaking glam metal. I'm gonna put on a song and dance around in my whitey tighties using a dildo as a microphone to sing this song. And then out of nowhere, this chick like tries to kill him. And it's like, I'm like, most bizarre. Like this show has gone off the rails quick. I mean, we've got a naked knife fight that leads to him exploding her with his sonic boom helmet. And then he's like, I gotta go. I jumped out the window in my underwear. I gotta go back and get my uniform and everything from this chick's apartment. When he goes in there to get his stuff, then he's like, oh, she got a really cool music collection. Let me steal a bunch of shit before I leave. So he starts grabbing all her vinyl and CDs, and accidentally finds her tiny spaceship. And he's like, dude, I'm not letting this music collection go to waste. I gotta get my metal on.
Dude, it's imperative to have good music.
As they say, there's never a wrong time to rock.
Unless you're wearing tube socks.
And the other new addition to a team is another vigilante played by Freddie Stroma as Adrian Chase, Vigilante. Which this guy was in another like Netflix series about he was a NASCAR driver on a pit crew that I think it was called The Crew. But it was pretty funny. He was just kind of like this dumb redneck. But in this, it's like he's basically like a Punisher or whatever, but he's like severely autistic. Yeah, like he definitely has that, he's on the spectrum somewhere where it's like, and he plays it so well where he's like, he's like, I kill people, cause they're bad guys, but he's like total sociopath. He has like no like feelings, and like him interacting with people is hilarious. Cause he's like, he's like skilled at guns and fighting, but he's like, I don't know how to communicate to people. Like, I don't understand sarcasm or any of this shit.
It's just socially awkward because you don't know,
He's like a busboy at like a restaurant in real life. Which he's like, in the comics and other media, he's, Adrian Chase is like a kind of a sophisticated dude. But in this one, he's just weird as shit. When he's trying to like him and he doesn't want anyone to know his like secret identity. He's like, come on, man, we're best friends. Like, dude, I don't even know who you are. I can't tell you my secret identity for your, for your sake. It's like, if people knew my secret identity, they would like, come after them to get to me. And then like later on, they end up having like a threesome with this chick that that Peacemaker met when he was trying to escape the apartment complex after he killed that first alien, and like he's in bed like with him, still has his like mask on, and they're smoking weed, and he's like, man, I can't believe they legalized that stuff. I would have totally killed y'all last year. Yeah, fucking Vigilante is like the cause of some of the best jokes in this series.
Well, with a name like Vigilante, yeah, I give up. I'm tired. I want to do a podcast where we just nap.
You gotta do that on like Twitch or something. People can just watch you nap.
Be be all drooling on myself.
Yeah, we get the YouTube. We'll do like a YouTube live one day, and we'll just be like,
dude, I'm not sleeping with you on YouTube, okay?
oh, come on. I'll just sit you in the chair. We'll turn the YouTube live on. Then just watch you snore. Get a second camera, so instead of like the wide shot, we each get our own camera, and it's just you sleeping the whole time and me talking for about random shit for an hour.
Hey, it's like every other podcast. Yay. I'm supposed to be the producer. I'm not supposed to talk.
And as you alluded to earlier, he has a sidekick, Eagly.
Dude.
Which the running joke of
eagle.
like, do you have a dog? Is it named Dogly? Do you have a daughter named Daughterly? It's like, you're not very inventive with your naming.
It's fitting. And it fucking hugs him.
Yes.
Dude,
he's hugging me. Take a picture.
I want a freedom so hard that an eagle feels compelled to love me, not with its talons.
Dude, I saw an eagle one day, and it was one of those things that was the most, like, freedom moment that, like, and I was by myself, too, so I'm like, there's no one else to witness this. Like, I was at the range, and I just, like, mag dumped my AK, and I look up, and this eagle, like, flies overhead, and I'm like, holy shit. There's a bald eagle while I'm out here mag dumping. This is the most freedom I've ever been. There's no one here to witness this, so everyone's just going to think I'm making this shit up.
And then you go to some places that are overrun by eagles, and they're such a nuisance. It's like
fucking eagle pigeons. But Eagly's a little badass too. When they get when the cops finally come after him, and they're or even when the the whatever freaking White Dragon's clan tries to attack him, Eagly starts like taking eyeballs and fucking people up, and then like Vigilante's like, fucking Eagly's hardcore. He's like the most useful person on the team, unless you want him to fly a helmet to around. Then he's like, oh, he's just an eagle.
It's not a carrier pigeon. Okay, you need a carrier pigeon for that. Although helmet might be a little heavy for said carrier pigeon. I don't know.
You have to like hook 2 or 3 to it, like him to work in teams.
Come on, guys, heavy object team lift.
What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
I know that one.
African or European?
African, of course. I'm not a PN, you're a PN.
But yeah, when the argument with Peacemaker and Economos, when they're like, all right, we gotta cover up, hide the evidence that he killed this alien, so no one finds out we're here doing this. Change the registration on his car and his fingerprints. And he's like, okay, and they change him to his father. So his father gets arrested for murder and explosions and whatnot. And they're like, why the fuck? Like, we're trying to get his like trust. Why the fuck would you? So I don't know. It's the first person I thought of. And then later on, when he's like finds out about it, and he's just going through like a list of like celebrities and shit. That like, what are you? He's like, these are all the people you could have like changed my ID to, other than my father. You fucking more. It's just like just goes on and on.
That's what you do every time I missed a recording date.
These are all the people I could replace you with.
There's 2. 2 people.
Yeah, I don't have any friends. But no one wants to hear me talk to myself for an hour.
How does yourself feel about that?
Even I think I'm an asshole. So.
But thinking and knowing. That's why I'm here. To make you ponder.
What about all the superhero jokes? Like, he has a random fact about every other superhero. It almost sounds like The Boys. It's fucking hysterical. It's like, the one old guy he's always arguing with, it's like his dad's neighbor. He's like, He's like, you're not a superhero. Like, Batman has like a cadre of supervillains. Where's your supervillains? He's like, I don't have any because they're all fucking dead. Batman locks people up. They escape. They kill more people. Batman's probably responsible for more deaths than any of the people he fights. And then fucking Aquaman. He's like, fuck Aquaman. That dude fucks fish. Like, I don't care if you have sex with like other dudes or whatever, but you know, when he's paying the guy at the zoo like $40 to come in and bang a sturgeon, that shit's just wrong.
A sturgeon.
And then he's like, the Flash is an asshole. it's like every superhero somebody brings up. It's like, you know, why does it like all aliens have to go in the butts? He's like, oh, freaking Superman's an alien. He's got a huge like, you know, butt fetish. And everyone's just like, no, that's true. It's like everyone just agrees with these fucked up facts he gives about all the other DC superheroes.
Yeah, see, I would like to... Kind of weird, like, they don't take more jabs at, like, Marvel and stuff like that. It's almost like there's an unwritten, like, oh no, we don't want to, you know, rock the boat too much, so we'll throw jabs at ourselves, but...
Well, I don't know if I've ever seen that Marvel Comics exists in the DC universe. So they can't make fun of something that they know nothing about, but they can bust their own balls as much as they want. And I like that, yeah, they're...
What about Marvel vs. DCU?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I think it's a video game.
Probably was. Sounds like a video game. Need to play it now.
I don't know that it was a very good video game. I don't remember it that much.
Jennifer Holland, too, is hardcore, is a bad bitch.
Is it hardcore or hardcourt?
I think it's hardcourt. It just sounds like
Hardcore.
hardcore.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch
like
in this.
Parkour. Only hardcore.
And even Adebayo, who doesn't look like someone who would be on a Black Ops team. She's Amanda Waller's daughter, who's like, no, I want to like run a animal rescue and shit, but I don't have any money, so I took this job from my mom. And then by the end of the series, she's like a total badass. Like
she definitely, like, her progression is probably one of the best, because you think, oh, you know, you're just here because
bleeding
of
heart
your
person. Like, and you know, the first time she's faced with like, oh, you need to kill somebody, and like she hesitates. But then, like, as it goes on, like, I mean, she's like fucking murking dudes in that last episode. Like, I was born for this shit, and it's just like fucking people up. But I like what kind of like early in her progression when they go to
but even Diebeard, you know, sort of kind of comes to. No, he doesn't. He lays on the ground.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he like goes to charge, he breaks his ankle. But the thing is, too, is like, you know, when she runs
but
in...
it's the fact that he did try to charge, because most people fight or flight instinct, and they would have been out.
Hey, for where he broke his ankle to at like the end when he like, yeah, after they go in there and kill a bunch of people, she turns around and he's like right there with like something. It's like, dude, he crawled a long way to get here to be because he broke his fucking ankle like 100 yards over that way. He just low crawled all the way over here. I'm like, that's pretty tough.
You don't need an ankle to low crawl. I don't care. You break a bone. Broken bones suck.
And I like
one broken bone feels like all the bones are broke.
I like too when all the aliens come in and take over the police department and the jail to build up their army, because turns out they find out that the aliens can't eat our food, so they have to have their own food, and they brought the cow that you keep alluding to, which is like this giant...
It's the nectar of the gods, man.
Giant, big, like, fucking bumblebee looking thing that they're milking for this goo that they turn into their food. So they build this army to protect it, because they're like, if we kill it, they're eventually going to all starve to death. But the one who takes over the detective, who's says to her partner, Sophie Song is the detective song played by Annie Chang. She's like, smiles at her partner because she, you know, has her memories of that, you know, she actually kind of liked him. It was like, it's weird. Like, everybody has, like, the muscles work differently. So you have to learn to smile with every new body you're in. So it's like every time I've got to learn how to smile again. So when all the aliens come in and take over everyone in the police department, everyone in the jail, there's that scene of them walking down the hallway and they're all like starting to try to smile. And like they all have like weird, different, like fucked up facial expressions as they're trying to like adjust to the new bodies. And it's like made me laugh so hard, especially the one tall weirdo guy who was their kind of man on the inside they put in to try to control the police. He's got a full on like Joker, like like fucking Jack Nicholson from the original Batman movie, like super Joker grin on. It's like it was the weirdest looking shit.
Why so serious? But I mean, that was kind of the cool thing about the series, though, is there was those little nods to other franchises and stuff. So I mean,
and there's something like just because I rewatched it again a couple days ago to prepare, and it's like, yeah, Gunn puts a lot of details in that pay off later on that you might even miss if you're not paying attention. When Peacemaker goes back to his dad's house to get replacement helmets, and his dad has been arrested and he doesn't know it at this point, but so the house is empty and the TV's on, and there's a story about a gorilla going missing from the local zoo, and then later on when they go to the food factory to investigate the gorilla's there. Like when there was an alien gorilla that they were using kind of as their enforcer that they all had to fight. And it's like, and then like I said, that little line about I have to learn how to smile every time I take over a new body, and then you jump to that where it shows all the aliens trying to figure out how to smile as they leave in the jail. It's like there's all these little like just kind of little throwaway things that pay off later on that I like, that kind of attention to detail.
It forces you to have to pay to more than just the action that's front and center. Like, and that's one of the things that I enjoy. I mean, granted, this was a good storyline and everything else, but at the same time, it was those little reasons that I'm going to look into this a little bit deeper. Like you find yourself kind of like one of those hidden puzzle, games where it's like, ooh, I bet there's a missing piece here in the background.
Yeah, there's definitely like on the second watch, so there's like things that I didn't pick up the first time around. And speaking of Eagly, he's actually voiced by famous voice actor D. Bradley Baker, who's been in a ton of movies, video games, and everything. So yeah, they had to hire a professional to make eagle sounds through this. It's like that little detail is just like that's hilarious that you had to hire someone of his caliber just to go and like just make fucking eagle sounds for.
Obviously, you are not a professional.
No, I am not. I do two voices, my voice and redneck voice. Which is still my voice. It's just when I get tired and I stop.
Then you have Russian voice, shit. You have Irish voice.
But all are based on like drunkenness usually. I'm drinking vodka, I must speak like this. But you probably can't, yeah. Yeah, they don't like Russians right now, so I haven't worn my, totally not a Russian spy shirt lately, so just gotta wait for things to calm down a little bit before I can go back doing that voice in public.
So are you a Russian spy? Don't want to draw attention to yourself by not saying you're not a Russian spy, which is definitely something a Russian spy would say.
Yet. Anyway. So I've done a lot of talking. What, throw out some, what's some things that you picked up that you liked that you picked up on? Did not seeing, Suicide Squad actually kind of hurt your understanding of anything?
I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know. I'll say that the first episode or so, like, it kind of picks up, like you said, and I'm like, okay, I missed something, so I'm like, no, I didn't miss anything. But by, the 15, 20 minute mark, like, I felt like I had an idea what was going on. And at that point, the show sort of took its own, and I didn't feel, like I was in the dark as much.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, other than kind of the intro the show. Dude, we're on camera now. You just
I don't give a fuck.
It's funny.
If my nose itches, my fucking nose itches. Okay?
But yeah, that other than the kind of how the show started off, I think this could, if you haven't seen the other movie, you're not going to know who Peacemaker is at the beginning, but I don't think it's that important through it. There's nothing that's kind of plot point that like you don't know what's going on if you haven't seen the movie. It's very much, this can be its own thing, other than why does this movie start with this dude like, with his ass hanging out in a hospital? That's about the only detail you and then the part where he's telling his dad about the the guy that afraid of rats. That's from whatever, the Suicide Squad movie. So that joke may not land, but other than that, it's like, it's pretty much kind of its own thing. I don't think anyone has to see the other movie to enjoy this, but it's a good movie. You should see it. And I think it's still on HBO Max now, so you can catch up before you start the series if you haven't started the series already.
Yeah, I don't know. You know me, I'm a big fan of anything dealing with chainsaws. And, the episode where they're, running from Charlie, which is a great name for a gorilla. But
too bad it wasn't Harambe.
Yeah. What's his name?
Economos, Steve Agee. Comes
took
in
down
with
a fucking chainsaw, and I'm like, that's brutal as shit.
Yeah, you think he's like the nerd dude, and then like every once in a while he just shows up and does something badass. When he takes down, we haven't talked about the aliens kind of human bodyguard judo master, who's this little tiny Asian dude. And if you look up pictures of the actor, it's like Newt Lee. He looks like Anthony from the cigar shop out of costume. Like, look up that dude, you'd be like, fuck, that's Anthony. But yeah, he's like this tiny, like, freaking ninja guy who like kicks the shit out of everybody. But yeah, he's like, runs him over with the car, and then has to go like beat him with a crowbar. And it's like, he's like, I'm a badass. I took down the judo master who kicked the shit out of all you guys. I just had to hit him with a fucking bread truck. Did you notice the sign on their undercover van? It was called Laying Pipe Plumbing Company. I was like, all right, I appreciate that joke.
Yeah. I mean, it was stuff like that made it enjoyable. Like all the little Easter eggs. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like this gave nods almost to like Kill Bill, to Quentin Tarantino, to Texas Chainsaw, to like all kinds of shit. I'm like, it's got a little something for everyone.
Yeah, and how his like, Peacemaker's like,
and it was kind of cool too. Just finally seeing John Cena in something other than like some kind of Marine role or something of that nature.
I think he's way better. I mean, when he first started acting, he tried to go the rock route and be like the new action guy, but I think he's doing a way better job doing these weird comedies, and even like kind of action comedy as this is. It's like, I think he's way better at as a comedic actor than he is like serious
that
action
you're supposed
dude.
To take seriously, because I mean, even when I was watching WWE and stuff, like I never just. I mean, he has a stage presence, but like he just comes off as not a very serious dude.
Yeah,
for some reason, like I don't know what it is. I mean,
yeah, he's so serious that he's almost funny as when he's doing his like wrestling persona. And I do like the kind of character growth he got in this series. He starts off very self-centered, like, douchebag character, and by the end he's like, no, you're all my best friends. And he kind of becomes like a human by the end of it, where he's like, and even the alien leader is like, I'm gonna tell you why we're doing this, like we're actually trying to save your planet. And, Myrn, their kind of their leader, was actually another alien who like didn't agree with them taking over. And they're like, no, we're actually doing this to save y'all. So we're actually trying to find peace like you do. We're just probably going to kill a bunch of people to do it, kind of like you've done. So you should join us. And then he launches Abadayo with the human torpedo helmet to kill the cow. And afterwards she's like, why didn't you join them? I mean, they're wanting peace. That's your thing. And he's like, yeah, that we are. We were kind of similar in that, but I realized if I did it, then they would hurt all of you. And y'all are actually my best friends now. You're my you're my second best friend after Eagly. And Vigilante's my third best friend. And Economist is like my fourth best friend.
And I'll put that in my diary.
Yeah. And he, whatever, sat there with Harcourt in the hospital because she gets shot up. But the guest stars in that finale was absolutely hysterical. Because like after they've killed the aliens and they're all fucked up and they're kind of limping their way out of there, the Justice League finally shows up. And you actually see the actors who play Flash and Aquaman, I think they had stand-ins for Wonder Woman and Superman, but they actually got them there. And that joke, because he's like said he's got all these weird facts about all the superheroes. He's like, you're late. Go fuck a fish. And fucking Aquaman's like, God damn it, I hate that rumor. And Flash is like, yeah, but it's not a rumor. He's like, fuck you, Barry. I was like, I can't believe they got them to come in and do this for this weird ass series, but it was absolutely hysterical. It made that episode.
I mean, I don't know. It was like, I guess that's probably one of the things that kept me from seeing Suicide Squad was, I want Suicide Squad over the top, kind of quirky, which sounds to me maybe more what the second film is, but everything that I saw for the first, I'm like, yeah, you tried to go that whole dark, gritty route that hasn't worked.
Got to sit down and watch that second movie. It's way better than that first. It's if you like Peacemaker, you'll like that second Suicide Squad movie because it is a lot more quirky. It's very much more Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like you said, this here was kind of a cross between Guardians and The Boys. Like, it was the bridge between.
Yeah, I mean, there is some just, like, because it's on HBO Max, so they don't have to worry about, like, a rating, because Disney and Marvel's always trying to keep things PG, where this is, like, DC's starting to go that hard R. And yeah, and this one's, like, there's some, like, bloody violence, especially when they go into that bottling factory and just blowing aliens' heads off left and right. It's like, oh yeah, this is like, I mean, hell, episode 1, you got titties and John Cena's ass. So it's like, oh yeah, this is definitely not your typical superhero show. This is definitely made for the adult fans.
Thanks, Deadpool, for proving that R-rated superheroes can be successful.
Yeah, because, I mean, the OG fans are people like our age. It's like... Yeah, comics might have been for kids back in the day, but like we all grew up, so like we're definitely going to appreciate more fucked up, more adult comedy. And
yeah, but even then, like so many family shows that we grew up watching, like
oh yeah, you watch them now, you're like, oh, that's an inappropriate.
And I'm like, as a kid, that never registered. As an adult, it's like, stupid kid, you don't even know what that means. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, you go back to like Animaniacs, Ren and Stimpy, like all the shit we watch as kids. You're like, oh yeah, man, this shit's like real dirty when you go back and rewatch it.
Like I can remember my mom, would like bitch at me, and it's like, what are you bitching of? And I'm like, oh. You understood what I didn't, but your impurities you were trying to pass into me, like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So, in the final few minutes here, what do you think of this cigar? I mean, it's... The thing I like about these, Chinese New Year cigars, they're all reasonably priced. I think the most expensive one's maybe like $7. But they're, like, so it's a good, like, I don't want to spend a lot of money, but doesn't taste like a cheap cigar. they've all got good flavor, and this one's probably one of the bigger of them. Well, some of them are like, I'm like the egg roll is like a tiny ass cigar, but yeah, for $6.80 I think I paid for this. It tastes like it's worth more than that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's the thing. You strip away the labels, and most cigars, somebody's going to find it enjoyable. There's been very few cigars that I'm like, no, that's dog shit of a cigar. And
if it is, it usually doesn't make it to the show because we smoke it and I'm like, oh yeah.
But the funny thing is, it's usually not a cheap cigar. It's a cigar that, more time was put into the marketing or the branding than the blending. Where, General's got so many brands and everything else that I'll say that this is an average cigar. It's not bad. It's not one that I'm going to rave about, but you know what? If I got $6 in my wallet, this is probably the one I'm going to pick.
Yeah, I don't know if I would pay $15 for this, but
then again,
it's a cheap cigar that doesn't taste like it's an inexpensive cigar. I won't say cheap because it doesn't taste like a cheap cigar.
This is one of those cigars that
not a lot of strength, but it's got good flavor, and
this is a gateway cigar, is what this is for that person that's like, I want to try something that
they're not on that Diablo level yet.
Correct,
and I want to try something a little bit stronger than my Connecticut or my Philly blunt or whatever I've been smoking. Yeah, this is a good, not overpowering, but it's definitely got more flavor than
this is something to
cigars.
Be like, hey, it's gonna give you a little bit, it's not even a black pepper spice. I mean, and it may just very well be the heat drawing through the cigar is the spice that I'm tasting. But I mean, to me, this is a very earthy cigar. It's
that kind of that nutty, earthy, but with just a hint of sweetness, but not like sweet.
I don't know. See, me personally, now granted, I was over here fucking chugging on this energy drink to try to stay awake through this bitch, but I don't know. I'm not getting a whole lot of the sweetness, but then again, it could also too be, maybe I cut a little bit too shallow and not deep enough to,
get into that Habano.
But I mean, for me, it's working because I like that heat. I like that spice, and I mean, like you said, dude, this was less than a $7 cigar after tax.
Yeah, and I'm definitely more willing to experiment at that price point than I am if something like brand new comes out and it's like $15-$16. I'm like, yeah.
But at the same time, not a lot comes around at those prices anymore. I mean, even
the more expensive, it's either...
Well, think about...
Most things are a $10 or $11 cigar, or it's like a $20 cigar.
But think about the $10 cigars, I mean, in the years that we've been doing the podcast, right? So, how many sub $10 cigars are now $13, $14, $15
I mean, even our Diablos that we've been smoking has gone up I think like 75 cents or something because of all this inflation bullshit. So yeah, like our $10 cigars are now $11, $12 cigars, but still at that price point, I'm more willing to try something new than like something that's in that $18 to $20 range. That's something I usually got to wait for like a special occasion. My birthday's coming up. I may splurge and get a $20 stick, or somebody might give me something.
You didn't buy me a $20 stick for my birthday,
because you were Tennessee up a pole. You gotta be home for that shit to happen.
Tower cigars are a real thing, man.
Did you find any cigar shops on your travels?
The thing about it is yes, there were cigar shops, no cigar lounges.
That sucks.
And that was that's kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I just sit out and smoke somewhere, especially if I'm on the road. I don't want to like be standing outside of a hotel that doesn't have a smoking area.
You know, in San Diego it worked because the weather was just gorgeous, but you know,
Utah and Tennessee a little cold for.
Well,
cold
I
for
mean,
that.
you know, when I was in Utah, like, dude, I was just blown away by the mountains. Like, dude, there's fucking snow on the ground, but I'm hiking 3,000 feet, you know, and poor Jason's like, I'm wearing slippers. Like, my feet are wet. Like, he's like, I'm not cut out for this. Everybody out here is active, and
oh, and well, before we wrap this up, you mentioned General Cigar. Ricky Rodriguez is retiring. We've had him on the show. Hell of a nice dude, and he's kind of the CAO brand ambassador and master blender for a lot of the CAO General cigars. So, do love, like, so we smoke a lot of the Punch Diablos, but like kind of my other brand has always been CAO. So I'm hoping the quality doesn't. I hope they find a good replacement for Ricky, because he's made some damn good cigars through the years.
Well, I mean, he's collaborated with so many people, and I'm sure that whoever they put in that place, you know, has been under his guidance and wing. Like,
yeah, hopefully he vets whoever they
and
they
dude,
replace him
it's
with.
just like professional, you know, sports players. Oh, I'm retiring, but until they die, they never truly go away.
Yeah, he may end up like an AJ Fernandez who just makes cigars for everyone now instead of being tied down to one brand. All right, and with that, we will see you in the next segment. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds Podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com. We're on the ESO Network at esonetwork.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Cigar Nerd Pod. Remember, smoke 'em as you got 'em. Like, comment, and subscribe.